But let's talk about why people don't do research.
It will be a part 2, no?
Because now I got funding from one of the organizations in Thailand, go around and around talking to the president of the 14 universities and also talking to researchers, top researchers of that 14 university. And then I found out that the research management doesn't work. The researcher, to be a researcher, you need to have soul. You don't need to have a management or policy or money. It has to be here. I became professor when I was 34. Right? I said to myself that from that time I will stop publishing. Right? But no, it's increasing the number of publications. Because when you become promoted, a lot of funding will come, a lot of commitments will come to you. But even the money don't come, I still publish because it's a nature. It's like in the morning, every morning you have to brush your teeth. You cannot go out without brushing your teeth. You have to make it like that. To have a soul, and to have a soul, you need a mother. You need someone to keep birth. To have soul. And in Thailand we found that the system that can do that is a mentoring system. You need to have someone that encourages, encouraging, inspiration, not putting policy or administration management or force them to do it. Never work. They might do 1 or 2 papers and stop. Right? I think that I would like to address about this one. One more thing about. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it for me. Next time, let's talk about doing research. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Fernandez. I think we'd like to ask now our participants to weigh in also and maybe ask some more questions or suggestions. From our panel, just to give some of the general impressions, summarize the general impressions. The journals in the Philippines are in a unique position, I guess. We have more of a developmental mission. We cannot just expect to harvest. We have to be more involved with the research community, which are our partners in this whole initiative. And we heard the need to consolidate, to collaborate, and to mentor, to think about sustainability, and to be able to harmonize all of these policies together so that we can all grow our research and publication ecosystem in the Philippines. Okay, now the floor is open for questions. Please introduce yourself, your affiliation, either an institution or your journal, before you state your questions. And then please specify also if you'd like a question directed at a specific panel member. Thank you. Can we hand the mic on?
Good morning, I'm Joel Ariaco, Managing Editor of Kasarindan, Philippine Journal of Third World Studies. I have 2 unrelated questions. The first one would be, well, an attempt to bite the hand that feeds us today. Do we need scopus? Do we need Web of Science? Because if you're going to read the most recent issue of Scientometrics, it's devoted solely to comparing Scopus, ISI Web of Science, and Google Scholar. Earlier on, he said that our intent in publishing, which I strongly disagree, is to be visible. Now, according to this special issue of Scientometrics, the 2010 issue, to be visible, you don't need Scopus and ISI Web of Science. Visibility is even guaranteed also by Google Scholar, which is free. Now, let me speak from the experience of Kasarindan.
Proceed to your question, please.
Yeah. So do we need okay. Scopus?
Are you directing it at the specific?
Yeah.
All of them.
Probably to Professor Diani in particular, because he mentioned this having this particular metric. So my question is, the information science scholars.
This is the second question.
The second question would be, well, let me just finish the first one. The information science scholars are saying that
First one is, do we need Scopus
yes,
or ISI
yes,
event?
yes,
Okay. Second
yes.
question is?
because, and in particular, let me just clarify, the question is on visibility. They're asking, they're
What
saying,
is the best way
yeah,
to generate
be visible.
visibility?
And
Okay.
I'm going to the effort being done by OBCRD because
Yeah.
Kasarilan has 70,000 downloads and views last year alone,
Okay.
provided by a free platform and with a plugin from Google Scholar.
Okay.
So do we need Scopus and ISI
Okay.
for visibility? That's the first
Alright.
one. The second question
one
is for all the members of the panel. In my experience as managing editor last year, I encountered 3 instances of plagiarism committed by tenured faculty members of UP Diliman.
Yes. Very good question.
What do we do with that?
Okay. Plagiarism. Okay. Thank you, Joel. I think we need another mic. Ano ba tayong mic sa isa? Para na-exercise si Joel.
Okay, let's try to start off things here. Okay, visibility in what sense? You can be visible, highly visible locally, and you will not be counted internationally. Okay, that's also good. For example, if your research published in a local journal, it's taken on by the local government and applied, and you're visible, will be known. So that also touches on the utilization of your research, which comes after the research process, if you look at the research process. Dissemination is publication. Utilization is another thing. So let's try to sort of things here, but put this all in the basket. For example, why do we need Scopus and ISI? It's what the world will see about the Philippines, and that matters a lot. For example, in EU came up with a program, that's the program Platform 7, wherein universities of the European Union and ASEAN universities can come together and collaborate in research. So the basis of this is what I've shown you, research productivity, and that comes from Scopus and ISI. Right in the plenary, the USEC secretary. It's my time's out or what? For example. In that case, we talk of relevance. Relevance to where? To the community of nations, to a community of universities internationally. We also have to be relevant. It's not only about visibility, it's not only about utilization of the research outputs or application of what has been published in journals. We have a moral responsibility to be within the community, international community of universities, and we have to be a part of that. So it's important that we publish also in journals that are counted, because these are measures. This is what the world is looking at when it comes to the Philippines. So right there at the plenary, the EU Commissioner told us, why do we partner with you when we look at your research profile? So we better partner with Thailand, better partner with Malaysia. It's right there. It was said to the Philippines.
Thank you, Lito.
Just a little response. I don't know whether it's going to be okay with you or not, the questioner. The Scopus, I don't use Scopus for looking at my articles. I use Scopus when I want to make sure that is my research title or the scope of the research is good and it's worth doing that or not. Right? The student using a lot of Scopus to look at what they're going to do. Is it repeated? Somebody else's. This is very important. What you're thinking is somebody has done already. This is the way we use Scopus. If you want to build a pyramid to get to the top, and everyone don't know your friends doing something, you will never get to the top because everyone will do the basement. If you know somebody has done something, you continue to go higher and higher, get to the top faster. This is Scopus for researchers like myself, like students, like the other people in this room. Another thing about Scopus for administrator like him, he wants to look how to invest, how to set a policy in terms of research, whose competitors and who we want to be like. And he can look at the whole thing relative to the country nearby, relative to the